Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's episode of FailRace with Jezza Chiv and an AI not quite looking where it's going. The Sand King can ramp over a lot of vehicles. I wouldn't have thought over this. It's a fairly sizable armoured car, but even then, no, the AI can still tumble off the course. HCR Faithless up next on Forza Motorsport 7 with a terrifying Nürburgring. Yeah, this is supposed to be the film Nordschleife. As you can see, you kind of ended up in, well, the upside down, I think. It's not the pleasantest of driving experience. You can kind of just about make out where the track goes with the terrifying scenery to guide you, but yeah, that's not quite what you want to be seeing. THR7 Motorsport also on Forza 7 doing a long-distance race here at Homestead when his IndyCar hits a curb and said IndyCar goes for a backflip because why not? Not quite sure what caused that. I mean, curbs on Forza 7 are generally quite nice. They're relatively flat, relatively smooth curbs to run across, but I guess the speed he hit it, the angle of the kind of the front wing must have just caught on the curb. That's, yeah, quite a vicious, I say quite a very, very vicious backflip for the IndyCar. I can't say I've seen that one happen too often when it comes to Forza games. KTI also on Forza 7 with the AI being weird. I mean, the AI can often do odd things from time to time on Forza, but this is a completely new one to me. So, racing at the Alps, everything going normal, when the driver of this Eclipse gets bored and decides they want to make a hard left for no apparent reason. There's a driver of an Acura as well further back that does the same thing. I think managed to spin out another driver. Now there is a tyre bundle which hasn't loaded in the replay, which is why you can see the cars bumping into an invisible wall. There's a tyre bundle that runs along that wall. But yeah, why the drivers wanted to suddenly turn left and then of course get confused as to what on earth to do at this particular point. Apparently the best solution is to drive around backwards. This goes on for quite some time until the RSX glitches through the floor and then pings off into space. The Eclipse quickly follows it and the camera, well, has no real idea where said Eclipse has gone. Somewhere over in that mountain, perhaps. Who knows, it could still be flying to this day, for all we know. SVK Burrito on a city car, driving also with a vehicle that wants to go for a little bit of a flight. Carrying a bit too much speed in his 6x6 Mercedes, ending up clipping some civilian cars impaled on a fence, and the game's had enough of the shenanigans and decides said Mercedes should go to space. It was well over 400 kilometers an hour. That thing got launched up into the sky, and it's certainly traveling quite a long way across the map, although now plummeting back down to Earth. It gets up to 450, 60, 70, almost 500 kilometers an hour before it splats back into the ground. It's a big impact before it lands on its wheels. All of that, the slingshot to space, the huge crash down to Earth, and the 6x6 is still on its wheels. Well done. Impreza Logic on WRC6 is racing through some very narrow roads, and you can already see where this is going from the gutter on the inside of the course. You know he's going to get it up onto its side, but it is a remarkable save. It's an incredible save. The amount of angle that car would have had on its side to have come back down in the way that he did. Well done to have held all of that one. Wraith Wolf on a Dirt 4, not quite so lucky. It's Sweden, the snowbanks are deadly, they grab the Evo, and sure enough, Evo goes for a big tumble. It's actually, the way that it kind of gets grabbed by the snowbanks, it speeds it up with the rolls. He lands on his wheels, can get back going again, but the game is not quite finished. No, we've got to go for another one. Of course, that 8 or 9 rolls was not quite enough. We need one more at very low speed across a bush, just to finish off that particular crash. Sweden is mean. Apparently the bushes in Sweden are very mean as well. Logan Cal on Need for Speed Underground 2 with a fairly garish Audi TT. I'll be like kind of Iron Man TT. Either way, comes up a slip road, doesn't realise there's an AI car there, uses said AI car as a big old ramp, does come back down to land on his wheels and continue the race relatively well, all things considered. And there we go. Shadowheart on NASCAR 2003 at Charlotte Motor Speedway with everything going wrong. Everything going wrong indeed. The frame rate's not great, I will be honest, don't quite know why, but it's a huge, huge wreck here. It's just about everyone. A few cars at the front, 6 or 7 cars get through, and just everybody else piles into that wreck. That is a tremendous, tremendous shunt there. Black and Red 81 on Project Cars 2, learning why pausing the game and going back to it, you're not quite, you're not necessarily quite pointing the car in the way that you expected it. When you're in a Formula 1 car, the time you have to react is somewhat limited. That is a really vicious wall. That is a really, really vicious wall. It's the lightest of touches on the wall, but it's just enough, for whatever reason, to spin the car across the air, loses both the rear wheels, front wing, etc. I say for whatever reason, if you look very closely, as the wheel hits the wall, for whatever reason, it massively deforms the tyre. Like, pushes the tyre all the way back across. I don't know why. That's not a normal thing, I didn't think, for Project Cars 2 to do with collisions, so I guess sort of some tyre physics got very, very confused. And finally, we have Amazing Gamer on Project Cars 2 with a massive, massive start line shunt with some LMP cars as everything gets twisted and tumbled. There's a lot of debris scattered around, and one poor Ferrari ends up upside down on top of someone else's car. Now this, I believe, is an AI core shunt. I don't know where the player is in all of this one. So the start goes okay. There's a little bit of a bump on this particular vehicle. I think it's a Ferrari ahead that's slow. The two Bentleys get stuck behind it. One of the Bentleys lifted up. And as he's lifted up, that starts this incredible chain reaction of cars spinning around. And this poor Ferrari is a complete passenger before ending up upside down on another vehicle. The said vehicle then just continues to drive off, not too fast about there being an upside down Ferrari. I say on his roof, but on top of him. But there we go. That is going to be it for this week's episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to the series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clips and mission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.